What it do, Neal family? It's your boy D Neal and
Mackenzie.
Here to introduce you guys to our new podcast. But we're not only going to do podcasts on this channel, we're still going to do a couple vlogs here and there. But for the most part, we're going to do podcasts. We're going to be doing Am I the A-Hole stories. We want you guys to send us stuff that we can talk about, that we can debate about. We're going to talk about our relationship a lot. Maybe some of the debates, fights, arguments that we get into, so y'all can decide which one of us is right. Usually it's me, but
usually it's me.
She has to be right in order for peace to be in the home. So I let her feel that way, but usually y'all probably gonna be agreeing with me in these stories. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, send us stuff. Maybe in your relationships, y'all are going through things. Y'all can send us stuff. Get our advice on it. We're not marriage counselors or anything, so I'm not saying take our advice 100%, but hey, I feel like we do pretty well in our relationship.
We do pretty well.
You feel me?
We do.
So it's cool. But in this video, we're just going to be talking about how we met. And you want to take it away? Or
you can start it off.
You want me to get my version of how we met?
Yes.
So, there I was in Texas, y'all. Know what I'm saying? Chilling, being one of the flyest bachelors out there. You feel me? Being absolutely awesome.
Right off the bat, he lying to y'all.
Doing my YouTube videos. I've maybe done YouTube for about a year or two at this point. Just basically doing a lot of reaction videos to music. I was getting so many requests for music in, like whether it be through social media, through the comment section, through just different avenues people were requesting. And you remember what request you sent me?
I sent you Blake Shelton. And I want to say it was, actually I'm not sure, but I know it was Blake Shelton.
So she sent me a Blake Shelton request. And the first time she messaged me, I just still was like, all right, I'll get to it. Because it was like Christmas and I was doing a special thing for Christmas where I was making over 300 reaction videos in that month. So I really didn't pay no attention to like clicking on her profile or nothing because I was so busy at the moment I ain't had time. But then, or maybe a month or two later, your mom sent me a request. And so I was less busy at the time. And I think I clicked on her profile. And I feel like I saw a picture of you maybe or something like that.
Yeah, my mom had a profile picture of me and her.
Yes. And it was from the same place that your profile came from, like that. So I was like, hey, like, do you have a sister or something like that, or
no, because
daughter or something?
You had been talking to my mom, like, not like that.
Yeah.
But they had been going on, like, talking about music, and then my mom was telling me about how, like, hey, you should hit him up. He's really nice, and he does talk back.
Yeah.
And so I had sent him a request from my account. And like he said, we're from the same place. We're both from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And so I sent him a request, which then he proceeded to ask my mom if she had two accounts because he thought that was my account.
Exactly.
So he thought he was talking to me this entire time. And then so I sent him my account. And then
I clicked on your account. Yeah. Got to scroll through the pictures, got to see what they look like. I'm looking through the pictures. I said, God dang, she look good. You feel me? And so I was like, shoot, well, let me. So I messaged her mom back, and I was like, something like, you have a very beautiful daughter or something like that. And then her mom said she thinks you're handsome too. That was all I needed. The door was, she cracked the door open for me, and that was all I needed. So. I jumped right in her DMs after that.
You text me and I think you said something like, I heard you think I'm handsome or something like that.
Yup.
And I was like, well, I heard you think I'm beautiful.
Yep. It was history after that. We started messaging all the time.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to go anywhere.
Same.
Like when we started texting that night or whatever, he went to bed like super early. He was like, I'll just text you in the morning. I didn't think that I would even get a text the next morning, but then you did, and we talked for like a couple of days, but it was nothing like major. It was like, oh, what are you doing today?
Yeah.
And I think I remember telling you like I was gonna go bowling or something like that, and he was like, well, you should let me take you out bowling. And we just kind of talk like that, and I just kind of figured it would die out. Like,
Same.
we don't know each other. We're 12 hours away from each other. He's busy, and I'm busy, and didn't really see how that was going to work. So I just figured it would die out eventually.
Yeah, and I think I figured the same. Long distance, I didn't think a relationship 1 hour away from me could work.
No, so. I mean, I had never been in long distance.
Exactly. So 12 hours, I was like, I thought she looked great. She was beautiful, and I was happy that she liked me, but I was like, it's 12 hours away. Like, there's nothing I can do. Nothing we're going to do.
Yeah. And then I just, I thought of him as more than a friend, but we just talked like normal.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't really, what you say, necessarily flirt.
Exactly.
We just talked and got to know each other.
I was trying to flirt, but that was my flirting. It may not have seemed like it, but I was doing my best.
I mean, to me, I didn't think that we had like necessarily flirted. It was like genuine conversation, like getting to know each other, playing 21 questions, all the time, like getting really deep into like your life story.
Facts.
Type of thing, and we just got really close, and then again, I just thought maybe it was just going to be a friendship because to me there was no flirting, but then he did flip the switch and started flirting.
I guess I just had to be stronger with my flirting to let her know. Hey,
yes, and see, at this time we were both actually still talking to other people.
Mm-hmm.
I had somebody that I was talking to. He was still talking to somebody. I'm not really sure when he gave up talking to somebody for me. When he thought...
I feel like it wasn't too far out after we started talking. Like, once, like, the strong flirting started, I feel like that was kind of when it was just you.
Yeah, and I think we talked for maybe a little over a month before he decided to come and meet me.
Crazy.
Which was crazy, and I was nervous because...
Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh, I was so nervous.
Super nervous.
Y'all don't even know, like... I was dead set. I'm like, I'm just going to ghost. I was so nervous that I would rather ghost him than see him.
I would have been sick, bro. I would have been at that airport sick to my stomach.
I didn't mean like after I let you come. I meant
okay.
Like... I mean, I kept agreeing, like, yeah, you should come out. You should come out. But then, like, I didn't want to text back when he would, like, try to ask me about, like, plans. I'm like, I would text back, but I didn't want to. Like, I was so nervous. I'm like, what if you don't like me? And stuff like that. So I was just, I'm surprised we're even here.
I swear.
I'm not that kind of person. Like, I'm very shy to myself. I don't go out. I don't go party. I don't do any of that. I've always been very... to myself, and so for me to take that risk and just it was just a lot for me. So that's what I'm saying, the fact that we're here.
Nah, I agree. And my thing is, I'm not the person, I'm cheapskate. So the fact that I was willing to spend the money on gas or spend the money on a ticket to come out here, spend the money on a hotel for a couple of days to stay here, like, that's shocking for me. But at that point, I was still working a full-time job, and YouTube was starting to pick up, so it was starting to pay a little bit more. So I was starting to make extra money, and I was like, well, I got the money to go out there, so... Yeah,
and see, like, at that time, he had to get a hotel because I lived with my parents. I had just turned 20 when we just started talking, so I hadn't been graduated, that long and all that, and so, he had to get a hotel. And I was nervous about that. That scared the life out of me.
But I was nervous, just not as nervous as her. Like, in a text message, she would repeatedly, like, tell me how nervous she was and everything.
Yes, and then when we did decide on meeting up.
Yeah.
And before we had a discussion of how long he should come out for, and because we're grown adults and all that, I had tried to explain to him that I thought was a very clear explanation, but he didn't understand me. I had made it clear that I thought, you should come out, but we could try to make some things happen because well, at that time I was going to be on my period.
Yeah, I got you.
And so I just wanted him to know that ahead of time, like, just in case.
Ain't gonna be able to do nothing.
Yeah, so I just wanted him to be aware of the situation, which he did not understand me whatsoever. So he thought that he would take those days away. Because he thought that I was going to be busy and couldn't hang out. And he didn't want to be down here for extra days if I couldn't hang out.
Exactly.
I thought that because I told him that I was going to be on my period, that he was not going to come. Because if he couldn't do that, then he didn't want to come see me. And so then I thought to just cancel the whole thing in general, because this is not what this is about.
Yes.
This was about getting to know each other, meet each other.
Yeah.
And I just didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
If that's what this was just going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And we still didn't end up figuring this out until months after we had already met.
Yep.
But I did end up still letting him come.
Yep.
And so.
Yeah, like she said, I just completely misread it from what she was saying. I thought she was saying, hey, don't come out these days. Know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to be able to hang out, or I'm going to be busy. Period. Know what I'm saying? So I thought, in my head, I thought she was saying, hey, because I had planned on coming with 4 or 5 days that first time.
Yeah, and he only stayed 2
days. Yeah, exactly. And so that's what I was like, all right, well, I just won't come these days. Which also in my head, I'm like, I just saved some good money on the hotel. Only 2 nights compared to 4 or 5 nights. That's $200-$300.
Right.
So I was like, all right, well, I'll just come those 2 nights, because that's what I thought she wanted. So I'm so glad she didn't cancel everything, because it would have all been over a misunderstanding. Mm-hmm. First time coming out, we could have hung out those 5 days and not nothing have happened and just had a good time. I'd have been cool with that. But yeah, so yeah. Thank the Lord, the misread situation didn't end everything.
So fast forward, and he does fly out, and so I get the text message that he's about to get on the plane, so he can't text me. So at this point, I'm freaking out. I'm over at my sister's, I'm getting ready, and I'm just sweating. I'm sweating, and then I'm I know I'm gonna stutter, because when I get nervous, I start stuttering really, really bad. And I was so nervous. So then I had to go pick him up at the airport. So that made me nervous. I've never even been to our airport. Come on. And
that's crazy.
It was packed, and you can't just stay in the lane. You have to keep your car moving at all times. Yeah. And so I got there a little early, but I did not know that you had to keep your car going this entire time. So I had to go run, drive around the entire thing 5 times before he finally got out. And then when he texted me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know he's out of the plane now. So then I'm still freaking out on the inside, but trying to keep cool. And then I see him come out. I'm looking everywhere from every angle that he could come out. And then I see him, and my heart starts pounding. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to pass out.
Going crazy.
You don't know how nervous.
Nah, she was telling me she was nervous weeks before, a month before. She was nervous all the time leading up. And my nerves didn't hit me until I got on the plane. That's when I started to feel a little nervous. But
bro, I've been nervous the second I bought the ticket.
I was all good there, because it wasn't reality yet, I guess.
Reality's spending that money.
But once I got on that plane, it was all right, this is for real. I'm headed out there. And
yes, and so I see him, and I park the car, and I get out, and he sees me, and he starts smiling. He comes up and gives me a hug. And immediately asked to take a picture with me because his family wanted to see her, your friend wanted to see her, something like that. And then I had to get that picture and send it to my family so they know that I was okay and not dead, not kidnapped, not nothing. And then I'm driving us to his hotel, and I'm lost. This is a part of Chattanooga that I have never really been in. Yeah. Of course, that's where their airport is, and of course, that's where his hotel is. So I'm struggling, and it took us forever to get to his hotel.
The facts.
The whole time he's trying to talk to me, I'm not even looking at his way. I'm just looking at the road please don't talk to me.
I was probably overwhelming you now that I think
about
it.
He was, I was so nervous. He would just talk. And I'm I don't want to do anything but talk right now. I'm so nervous, and I was scared I was going to stutter.
Bro,
my face was red.
She was so quiet, bro. for hours. I feel like after we met,
yes,
you were quiet.
because we checked into his hotel. We got up into the room, and we were sitting on his bed, and I decided to watch TikTok.
Yes, we just sitting here watching TikTok.
Yes, like he's got his like arm around my waist, and we're just sitting here watching TikTok, and I'm like, anything to just not talk.
And I'm like, I ain't come down here to not talk. You feel me? Like, I want to get to know you. I want to talk. Let's do something. You feel me? And so, yeah, I was nervous inside, but I was just trying my best not to let it show. So, like, I would try to carry a conversation. I would try to talk, put my arm around her, try to do things. But I was nervous, too. I just didn't show it.
Yes. He just... And then, how did we break it?
I was trying to stay away from it. I was trying not to say it. I was like, oh, we broke the ice. How you break the ice, huh?
How you break the ice?
We just gonna let y'all wonder how we broke the ice. You feel me?
Let's just say it started out with him giving me a kiss.
Yes. And the ice was broken.
Was it though? It became very awkward.
I'm sorry, but like y'all go hear that my loud laugh, and I'm sorry about that if it hurt your ears.
It was very awkward, but then it was all right.
Yes.
And then, and then he wanted to grab some food.
Mm-hmm. Gotta eat.
Yeah. So he grabbed food. I did not grab food.
I offered to get her food. Don't think I'm
he
just
did offer
going
to get me food.
Yes.
But I was just so nervous that I just could not eat. And then that was pretty much it for the first
day. Yeah,
for the first day.
Yeah.
And then the next day we went out and we ate breakfast.
Yep. Waffle House, I think.
Yeah, we went out to Waffle House, and then I took him downtown in Chattanooga. Took him to Coolidge Park, and we walked around and got snow cones and saw the view and the water and the trees and everything there is to see downtown.
It was real nice.
Held hands.
It was hot. But it was
my gosh,
nice.
it was hot.
Yeah.
Probably not like a good place to go for a first date.
But I enjoyed myself. Like, being in your company. Like, I was having a good time.
Yeah, and so, because I live in Chattanooga, Kane Brown was, like, raised down here, and Lauren Elena, and, teen mom, Macy, and, all of them, they're down here, and so I took him to go see the houses.
Yeah,
and stuff, and, he fell asleep in the car.
Hey, man, I can't control. Y'all know when you're in a car, you get tired, you just pass out. It just happens.
He fell asleep, and I had to wake him up once we had gotten to Lauren Elena's house.
Yeah.
Her old house, by the way, not the one she currently lives in.
Yeah. It's like I think artists are cool and people are cool, but like, I guess I ain't care too much about the house.
I guess in my opinion, I thought that would be something he would be interested in because he reacts to music, and I'm like, well, that's 3 people. Yeah. Well, that's 2 people that sing, but this was, Macy. I mean, she's pretty big.
Yeah, T-Mom.
And so I thought, that's 2 people down here, music,
Yeah.
Come see where they come from, He had no care in the world.
Nah,
he went, but he went to sleep.
Because they ain't live there then no more, so I'm just like, he's cool, but
he's cool, but
yeah. And then I had to go to the airport very early that next morning. I think it was like 3-4 a.m. or something like.
Yeah, I had to get up and take him to the airport.
Yeah.
That early. And it was sad to drop him off. Like, I felt sad, but I didn't cry because I wasn't too attached at that point.
Yeah.
Like, I felt something, but I just didn't know what I was feeling yet. Yeah. Couldn't describe what I was feeling yet. And I didn't want to say anything because, like, I didn't want, like, him to think, like, I was clingy or anything like that. So I was just like, I'm just letting him do what he wants to do. If he don't want to talk no more, we're good.
I think from my end, I had a lot of fun with it. Like, it was cool just hanging around her, even though she was very nervous and shy, like getting to know her a bit, talking to her. And so that was cool. And so when I was getting on the plane, I was like, that was like fun. Like, it sucks that I gotta go so fast. I wish I could stay like a couple more days and get to know her some more.
Yeah, I think like the couple more days it would have been better. Like I was opening up more as we were spending time together.
It just I got on the plane. I was just like, man, that just went by so quickly. And so I get back, not knowing that I'm gonna come back again
within a month.
I'm just like I had a really fun time. I think school was out at that point, and so like I worked at a job where we worked in school, so schools are out.
Yeah, so the first time he came was middle of July.
Yeah.
And the very next time he came was towards the beginning of August.
Yeah.
So a couple weeks.
Yeah, school was out. Know what I'm saying? And my job, like the PTO built up very quickly, and so I was just like, free. Why did you go before school starts? Let me take one more trip out there, because I'm not gonna be able to after a while. After when school starts, I gotta be at work, and so I came back out here. And I feel like it was history from there.
Yeah, he spent a week down here, and we went and did everything. We went bowling. We went to the movies. We went and played mini golf.
Man.
We played arcade. We
had a blast.
to the zoo. We went to the aquarium. We did everything.
So my pockets, I was paying for everything. She offered, she offered like everything we went and did. She was like, well, I'll pay like at least half, or I'll pay for this since you pay for everything else. But I was always like, no, I got it. I think I let you pay for like Waffle House or something one time. No?
Yeah, you let me. The first time you came out, you let me pay for Waffle House. Well, you didn't let me pay. I had just put the money on the counter and was like, let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, I traditional grew up. I was like, man usually pay it when getting to know the girl. Man usually pays for everything. So
yes, and at this point, I had no choice since I was with him for a whole week. I had to eat.
Yes.
So I had no choice if I did not want to pass away.
Yes.
So we did everything together.
Yeah.
And we were at the zoo, and I got excited over seeing giraffes. First time I had seen giraffes. And I laid eyes on them, and I got excited, and I slipped up and called him babe, and I was like, babe, look. And then in my mind, I was like, what did you just do?
I don't even know if I recognized it.
I feel like you did, because while we were still at the zoo, you ended up calling me babe, and I was like, and I was like, okay.
This is cool.
We're going somewhere.
Yeah.
I thought I had really messed up. I'm like, I just pushed it too far. This is the only second time seeing each other. I have literally just ruined it all.
Nah, but it was like she said, we did all of that, and it was at the end of the. And I've never been in love before in my life. Like, I didn't know if I was capable of loving somebody. Like, when we first started talking, I'm ashamed, but I told her, like, I don't know if I can commit to one person for the rest of my life.
Yes.
Because I truly did not know.
Yes, because, that reminds me, because when we were talking and he had mentioned that he didn't feel like one girl was enough, and I almost stopped talking. Yeah. I pretty much tried to, like, still talk to him, but, like, not be so attached. Mm-hmm. You know, like, as in kind of just like, oh, I'll talk to you, but I know it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Because she was just like, nah, I don't feel the same way as you do. Like,
yeah, like, it's just not how I am. I'm one person, and then you're it.
Yeah, and I just truly, so this was only our second time hanging out. First time was 2 nights, second time was like 4 or 5 nights.
And his birthday had just passed right before he came out. And so I had gotten him a couple anime posters.
Yeah.
And this is, again, our second time seeing each other. So I got him some anime posters. And then
I was starting to get into anime at that point, and I was like huge, like addicted at that point.
Yeah, and so he had mentioned that he had been buying like a couple here and there. So I was like, okay, well, I got him some for his birthday. And then it was his very last night with me, and I told him he needed to go take a shower. So while he was in the shower, I had lit candles well, they weren't real candles because you can't light those in hotels, but you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I put those everywhere in the room, and I had rose petals everywhere. And so when he came out, he saw all of it, and then I gave him a massage, and we watched a scary movie.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah. And then...
But on the second time of seeing each other, I am romantic.
I swear. But then, yeah, after that, when it was time to go that next morning, I was so attached to her at that point. Like, I did not want to leave at all. So, and like I said, I never loved anybody before. So for me to fall for somebody that fast, I legit didn't think it was possible.
Yeah.
So we hugging, sad, all in the moment that I gotta
crying.
go back home.
He's gonna say he wasn't crying, but I promise you he was.
They got a lot of pollen out here.
He wasn't crying as hard as I was. Like, I was crying. Yeah. But he did have a couple tears coming down his face.
Tennessee, the pollen is crazy in Tennessee, man. I'm telling you, allergies going. So water fell from my eyes.
Naturally.
But before I would go to my car, like, I just turned to her, like, and I told her, I was like, I love you. And this is what we hung out for like 7 days, but we talked and texted all that time. But I was just like, I love you. And then I asked her, I said, will you be my girlfriend? She was like, oh, you love me? What? You love? Because she knows that I ain't never loved nobody. I didn't think I could commit to one person for the rest of my life. But she still took that risk. And you feel me? She told me she loved me too. Told me she would be my girlfriend. So I'm going back to Texas with a girlfriend. I'm happy, excited. I'm not thinking anything about how long distance is going to work out. I'm just excited. That
so we had completely different, like, like coping. Because he's right. I didn't expect him to say any of that because I didn't know his past. I knew how he felt. And, you know, we had literally talked about it. And I'm like, you know, it's not going to be something. So then when he did ask me to be his girlfriend, and I said yes, and I'm having to drive all the way back home, and in my mind I'm like, and what did you just do? Yeah. Like, are you dumb? He lives 12 hours away. Like, this is never going to work. Like, it wasn't because, like, what did you do? Like, we don't like him. It was,
I feel you.
What did you do? Because, you know, this isn't going to work. You know what I mean? It's like, you're already getting attached. You're letting yourself get attached, and it's not going to work, and you're going to be heartbroken again. Yeah. You know, we just went through this. Come on. Get it together, Mackenzie. So... as I was driving home, I stopped at my sister's work and I went in there and I was telling her, and she was like, are you sure about this? You know, like, it's 12 hours away. Like, I know you're having fun right now. It's summertime, but, you know, what are you going to do? You know, how are you all going to see each other again? How are you going to make it work? You know, you both working. And at that point, I was just like, what did I do? Yeah. And then, so even after he had came home and all that, for me... he hadn't said I love you since. Yeah. And like it hadn't been said for like maybe like 2 weeks at this point. And I thought, so then I had the conversation with my mom and my sisters. I'm like, well, maybe like he don't love me. Like maybe like he just said he did. Like, I don't know. Like, I just didn't think, I thought maybe he regretted saying it because he hadn't said it again.
I feel that.
And I'm like, well, maybe it was just in the moment, you know. Yeah. You're leaving me. Yeah, I feel. You know. I feel like that. A little summer fling, and I'm like, well, this would be the first. Yeah.
It just, it sucked. I think I knew because in that moment of leaving, like, I just felt like my heart tightened, like my stomach, like, I just really felt so sad about leaving. And I think that was the moment I was just like, I don't want to be without this person. Like, I want to be around them, like, all the time. And so I think in my heart, I guess I just knew that, like, this is what love was. And I know it's very quick for me to say it, but I just said what I felt in that moment.
Right. And so he went back home, and we went back to talking all the time. Again, we never did phone calls. Not up until like 2 months before he moved out here. Then we started talking on the phone. But we never talked on the phone. We never FaceTimed. Nothing. We strictly texted on Snapchat. Facts. Or we would just like record videos and send them to each other. Not that kind of video.
Nah, yeah. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. Nothing like that.
But that's how we managed to keep the relationship. And then we met up again a couple weeks later after that in September.
Yeah.
And we met in Memphis.
Yep. And that was just like a quick 2-day.
Yeah.
Like a weekend thing.
We were both working and school was back in.
Mm-hmm.
So he was working. So we were going to meet up every, it was supposed to be on the weekends.
At least like once a month, I feel like.
I think it was supposed to be like twice a month, and we literally only did it that weekend.
Yeah.
Because that was in September. And we were going to do it again, but then my birthday came up in November, and I wanted him to come down for my birthday.
And I did.
And he did.
But I think we gonna say that story because this video is getting long. We already 30 minutes in. We got plenty stories about our relationship. That's just the beginning. So we got many stories about how our relationship evolved and how we are where we are today. And if y'all want to know any of the stories, make sure y'all drop it down in the comment section. Like we said in the beginning, we want to talk about our relationship. We want to talk about other relationships, give relationship advice, do the Am I the A-hole stories, and still do vlogs. We want to do a lot on this channel. But we could go on forever. We could go on forever, but this was long enough, so we'll see y'all on the next one. I had fun doing this.
Me too.
We'll see y'all. We out. Make sure y'all subscribe.